Well, good afternoon, folks. Boy, have I got a treat for you today here on the CBC Tips and Tactics because I got a guy that is so full of energy, it is unreal. And I'm going to bring him on in just a minute, but instead of telling you all about him, I'm going to play you a little short video, and it's going to tell you about him and his company. And I want you to hold on for this, tune this in, make sure and spend some time with this because the next little while is going to be some real valuable time. So let's watch this video. It's going to tell you about my guest today.
This is my $40 million garage door company, A1 Garage Door Service. But listen, it wasn't always like this. I've worked too hard, worried too much, and spent way too much money. But listen, I've made every single mistake out there, but I can tell you this, I've learned from every single one of them. A long time ago, there was only a couple of us. We'd go out and repair the garage doors ourselves. We had a weekly planner, and that was what we used to dispatch ourselves. There was no GPSs. There was none of that stuff back in 2006. And now we have over 200 employees. We've got a 35,000 square foot warehouse and training center. And we're so excited to bring you guys in and show you what we're going to do as a team. Because we believe in you, the people, and that's how we're going to grow this thing. We're going to grow it together. This is the fifth building we've been at. We're on our fifth CRM, which is Service Titan. And we're always looking to perfect everything we do. We're always evolving. We're a live organism that's always looking to do the next best thing. We're a lean company. One of the things that differentiates us from our competitors is we carry the best parts in the industry. You know how when you buy a tire, it tells you how many miles it's rated for? Well, garage door parts are the same way. It's rated on a cycle life. Each time the door goes up, it comes down as one cycle. We carry 80,000 cycle springs, 100,000 cycle rollers, the best in the business, and that's what separates us from every other garage door company. So right now I'm standing in door 48 where we build anything custom when it comes to your garage door. We have the ability to do wood overlay garage doors. We do any type of door you can think of. And the reason we call it door 48 is because Arizona is the 48th state. This is where we started. And our whole motto here is if you could think it, we could build it. And that's something that really differentiates A1 Garage Door Service from any other garage door company.
So here we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Mello. I met Tommy a couple months ago because one of my clients kept telling me about all the great stuff that Tommy Mello was sharing on his podcast. So one day I decided I got to get to know Tommy Mello. So I had a call with Tommy, and we're just really interested because this guy is so full of energy, so full of ideas. And, you know, and one of the things about him, I'm really jealous because he's a lot younger than me, and I can't replace that, but this guy's got it going on. So if you're tuning in with us today, I'm going to tell you this could be the most valuable time you'll spend this year of listening to what Tommy's going to share with us. So, Tommy, I am so glad and so grateful I got you on here today. How you been doing, brother?
I'm great, Jerry. It's a pleasure to be here. Glad you're doing good. You're healthy again, and yeah, you're right. I'm a little ball of energy, and today I'm on one today. It's been a great day. So
what's putting you on this ball of energy today, Tommy? What's the big thing? What's driving you today, brother?
Well, I got a new crew of 25 people that are training, and I started this morning at about 7:30 here at the office with a 2.5-hour orientation, and I lit it up, man. I was just full of energy. We got to meet each and every one of them, shake their hands, and we're getting involved with an affiliate marketing. My buddy runs the biggest roofing consulting and show in the country. It's called Win the Storm, and they chose us to be their garage door company. So for every storm chaser that fulfills garage doors, that sells roofs, we're going to be their garage door guy. So that could possibly be, I mean, he told me next year it could possibly be a little over $100 million worth of business. So it's exciting. It was a good phone call.
That's it, brother. So listen, a couple of you fans are on here already. There's Brandy Biswell. She was on the coaching call we did. And there are people that are really following you. She's enjoying your book. And another guy is Lee Rolfe. Lee Rolfe is the guy that connected me with you and told me about all your things going on. So, this is what we're seeing here. You have conquered many of the challenges that face so many people in the home services industry. And the other thing about Tommy Mello is you're willing to share all your tips, all your tactics. So let's start off with this. If I look back and like we just saw, 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. What was life like 10 years ago, Tommy?
You think of the 80-10 or 80-20 rule, and you think about all the fluff in a day. You're chasing your own tail. You're wondering where the next call is going to come from. You're trying to figure out how to train employees. And, there was no processes. There's no processes at all. And, it was really, really difficult because you're sitting there stuck in the job every single day. You're working your butt off and you're making $100,000 a year, but the company's making $0. When you stop, the company stops. And what I've learned is I've always been able to make a lot of money. I was painting doors a long time ago, $100 a door. I could do 10 in a day. I was bartending. I was flipping vehicles. And what I realized was I got to work really hard to make money. That's not the definition of wealth. Wealth is making money when you sleep. So I said, I got to get into business, and it's got to be process driven. It's got to have the expected outcome. And the biggest thing is that I learned, Jerry, is I'm not good at a lot of things. So I hire people much better than me at most things like accounting, setting up the balance sheet and income statement, and really understanding the numbers and the CSRs and the dispatchers. I'm more of I love sales and I love marketing, and I love being the cheerleader in the background, pumping people up full of passion. So that's what I do. I'm the mascot. I have fun every single day. And then I hire amazing people and give them the direction, manuals, processes that they need. And then I always give them skin in the game. So I know there was a lot there, but it's just from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I didn't know what a KPI even meant. It was some type of Latin word. Now I know it's key performance indicators. So, it was bad, though. I was chasing my tail. I was losing relationships. I mean, there were nights that I didn't cry myself to sleep, but I really was worried all day, and that's no life to live. So I'm glad I've had some really good influences, some amazing people like yourself, and read some amazing books that were able to change my life.
So you did the classic thing that I tell a lot of people to do. You got to take those things that you're not really good at, or maybe you just don't really want to do them. And I tell people to put them in their suck bucket, because it's so easy to find someone else that enjoys that will actually good at it, and they just may be better than you are at it. So how were you able to make that determination to put this stuff into your suck bucket and then find people to fill that role?
Well, first, it starts out with a plan. It starts out with an org chart, and typically you are every position on the org chart. But, I hate to say this because there are times that I'm not the most process-oriented and org chart and manual person, but I've become the same person I am today. I am a different person than I was. So what I've done is I know I'm not organized. So I've got an assistant that's amazing, and I'm in the process of finding her an assistant. So 2 assistants for me. I'm not exactly what I would call great at time management. So she runs my calendar. So the biggest thing is admitting to myself that I'm not good at a lot of things and that I'm really good at some things, and sharpening my tool on the things I'm great at and continuing to sharpen those tools and really delegating the other things. So I built an org chart. I had every position filled out that I was doing, and I got really detailed with it. And then I said, I hate this. I can't stand it. This is the first thing I need to replace. And then I moved on to the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And then, man, now I go to work and I love what I do because I get to do whatever I want, but I'm the first one. I'm usually the last one here. I'm not always the first one because of the people that come in at 4 a.m., but I enjoy going in on Mondays, and that's more than most can say.
So would you say you're a person that actually going to work is a pleasure and could almost be considered a vacation, a holiday for you, Tommy?
I prefer Saturdays over Mondays, but I'd say I love my job. I love going to work. And I'd say whenever I walk in the room on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., I always play this song. It's called Every Single Day because I love my occupation. I'm on vacation because every single day because I love my occupation. So, yeah, I really do. I enjoy it because there's different obstacles, but they're not tough ones. They're not the problems that most business owners are having. My problem is how do I get to 60 technicians trained a month? My problems are how do I get to $1 million plus producers on every single technician that comes out of my door? My problems are just a lot different, but they're fun problems. It's like, how do we surpass 100 million this year? That's not a bad problem to have.
That's not a bad problem. Well, you just said something right there. 60 new technicians a month, Tommy. Did I hear you correctly?
Right now we're getting between 30 and 40. My goal is to get to 60. And that's 60 technicians. And we got ratios. So for every 9 technicians, I need a dispatcher. And I think it's a 5-to-1 ratio for CSRs. And then it's a 2.5 ratio for every installer for every tech. So we've got these ratios we've built over time and knowledge, and we're just calculated. It's all math. It's all exact numbers. My feelings are not involved in any of the decisions really, except for our growth plan.
Okay. So how do you face disappointment? I mean, I'm sure that there is a failure rate amongst the people you hire. In other words, some are going to wash out, and we're going to talk about your training system today. But do you ever just get disappointed, and throw your hands up, why do I keep doing this? Does that ever affect you, Tommy?
No, because it's a numbers game. I anticipate losing between 15 and 20% of the new hires. And the fact is that I think we could do a better job on the hiring and a little bit more. The question is, how long are you going to let people lose you money? So many people, they spend all this time hiring and then they say, I got 20 grand. And I literally have 20 grand by the time they show up here into them. And I say, you know what? A top producer for me this year will do $2 million. A bottom producer, if they stayed on the entire year, will do $300,000. So some people say, I invested $20,000. I need to keep them and work with them. If it takes them 2 years to get better, you can imagine 2 million times 2 is 4 million. 300,000 times 2 is 600,000. You see the difference, $3.4 million. So forget the 20, forget the 20,000. And there's it's a mathematical certainty that we will not keep every single person. The quick thing is hire slow, get the right people on the bus, and then fire fast. Have a really good HR team that's built around standard operating procedures and performance improvement plans, and make sure that we're going to give them everything they need to succeed. But I can't give them the will. I tell people, if you give me the will, I'll find a way. But you got to do exactly what you signed up for. And I've got everything. This is a form I got. These are what my acknowledgments. Tommy commits to you. I will do the very best to lead this company and succeed and build it in a way that lasts for a very long time. I will jump through hoops to make sure the culture is the best in the industry. I've got all these things that I'm going to do, and then I make them sign these. I will use the full supervisor on every call. I will help even when I feel overwhelmed from Tommy. I will respect my managers and chain of command. I will continue to raise the bar and better my best. I will be accurate on my inventory. I made them initial and sign each one of these because I love accountability and I love their John Hancock.
Okay. One of our watchers that's watching right now has got a question up on the screen. How long do employees stick around with your business? And I presume she's talking about good employees. What's the career that you see? Is there like a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year? What do you see that people will cycle through? Maybe they're burnout, maybe this doesn't fit them, but what are you experiencing there?
I've had a couple guys and gals that I've lost that are really great employees because they've moved or they've decided to get into like a mortgage industry or something, but very, very few that I want to lose. I've got a ladder for every single opportunity. I have a guy that started out as an apprentice, moved up to an apprentice tech, junior tech, senior tech. Then he became a lead tech. Then he just became an area manager. So the deal is there's so much room for it with a growing company like ours to move up that people love to know they're at a growing company. They're appreciated. And what I try to do, this is what I told everybody. I said, you guys don't care about me becoming a billionaire, do you? You don't care about my house, my truck. Your dreams are not the same as mine. But I know you have dreams. You want to go on a new honeymoon every year with your wife. You want to go on that hunting trip. You want to get that new truck. I want you guys all to be homeowners, and I want you to have the best retirement in the college. So I'm going to match my dreams with your dreams. And I'm going to get so excited when you hit your goals because we're going to match our goals up together. And that's what I think the secret sauce is. So many people, they get mad at their, what do you mean you want more money? I give my people an unlimited cap and I share with them. And everybody knows how much money we made last year. Everybody knows, all my senior staff know everything about the company. They know the percentile we made. And I don't care. I don't even open up my own mail. I don't even open up my own email, to tell you the truth, Jerry.
I know that. I know that when I email you, Tommy, that the only way I'm going to get direct to you is a text, and the email is opened by your assistant, and she tells you what's important to deal with. I mean, that's your life, and that's part of what you've done here. So if someone were to say the following to you, I just can't get nobody to work for me, nobody wants to work anymore, what would be your answer to that person, Tommy?
With them. What's in it for me? Why would I work for you? What kind of culture have you created? We've got a popcorn machine. We've got a shaved ice machine. We've got a golden tea. We've got a big buck hunter. None of those things matter. I mean, they do, and we've created the culture, but I'm there at the meeting this morning for a 2.5-hour orientation. I'm involved. I want them to be successful. They feel it when they come in that they're wanted. They love the fact that we care. And the difference that I've seen is, the first thing you need to do, I told these guys this morning, I said, there's 3 people that are here. So I drew a big thing, 3 of them. Here's you, here's A1, and then there's the customer. I said, here's one thing that I've come to terms with. If the bank calls or a vendor calls or a truck gets turned over for some reason in a bad accident, what do you think happens? Do you think they come to my fleet team, or do you think they come to the guy at the top? So I've come to blame myself when something fails. And everybody else, I said, the technicians, I said, guys, here's the thing. When you have a great day, you turn something or nothing into something, and you go out to a job and they just don't have a ton of money, and you were able to get them financing and get the garage door fixed the right way, you got to pat yourself on the back and say, I did amazing today. But the next day, when maybe the dispatchers, they don't have a lot of great jobs or whatever you might feel, the non-producers tend to say, I'm in a bad zip code, the dispatchers don't like me. They're a victim. Either the customers are always paying their taxes. It's that time of year. It's my market. What I said is, if you have a great day, pat yourself on the back and say, I'm a good guy. I'm a good gal. I'm amazing. When you have a bad day, you've got to take ownership. If you don't own it that no one wants to work for you, then you got to take personal responsibility for that. And you need to make some changes. And if you want to blame everybody else, you shouldn't be in business, because nobody said it's easy. I said, guys, I'd be happy if you're business owners, and I will help you. But just know you've got a really, really, really good chance of failing. And I got, a lot of things went right for me, and I've had a lot of amazing people have a great influence on me. I'll never tell anybody not to get in business, but if you think it comes without stress, nightmares, relationships, then you got another thing coming.
Tommy, one of the things you've done is, like I said, in this time that so many people have difficulties in hiring, you've conquered this. And it's going to be from the marketing. So what I want to do, we're going to break away for just a minute, and I'm going to share with you guys and gals that are listening and watching, I'm going to share with you a recruiting video that A1 Garage Doors does. And I want you to watch Tommy Mello in here. I want you to watch him interacting. Look at his training rooms. And what you're getting ready to see, folks, is a phenomenal process. Tommy, before we go here, let's share with everybody, how many divisions do you have located around the country?
Now we're in 15 states, 20. We just added a couple of markets, and it's crazy because I got a full-time project manager that just finds locations and sets them up and orders the stuff from Costco, Amazon, and Home Depot. So we're able to set up about 2 new facilities a month right now, and it's growing. And we've got schematics for our training center, the same computers, the same everything now. It's just an order that goes in through the 3 places, and then we negotiate the lease, and we think of all these other things, like if we need to sublease down the road because we need a bigger spot. So 25 markets, and I can tell you this, it's not, I told them I wanted to go into 50 markets this year, so we'll see. But I'm definitely pushing the limits. I'm pushing everybody a little bit harder because that's what I do.
Okay, so everybody watch this video I'm going to play. It's going to tell you a lot about Tommy, A1 Garage Doors, and I think this is part of the success story.
Hi there, my name's Tommy Mello, and I own A1 Garage Door Service. First, I want to tell you a little bit about our company. We started in 2006, and now, over the last decade, have worked very hard to expand to 10 states. My point here is simple. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. In fact, we employ almost 200 amazing people up to this point. The largest differentiating factor to our success is twofold. We have by far the best employees in the industry, and also our marketing team absolutely crushes our competitors. Now, get ready, because I'm about to run through several reasons why you should apply today to A1 Garage Doors. I'm going to give you a comprehensive list of why we're the best company to work for. First, you're never going to be a 1099 contractor when you work for A1. We're not into all the tax loopholes because we care about having 100% genuine employees. Number two, you're always going to be paid weekly. We found that it is much easier to pay your bills when you're receiving your check every single week. Number three, we're going to give you your very own wrap truck to take home every night, and a company gas card to boot. We think it's very important that we are giving you every tool possible to be successful with this career path and our company. At A1 Garage Door Service, we carry the best parts in the industry so you can sleep comfortably at night knowing you sold the best parts with the best warranty. We call it our Max Life line. You can't find them anywhere else. We're one of the only companies that provide medical, dental, vision, and life insurance for you and your family, because we know how important it is to keep your family healthy and happy. One of the largest differentiating factors here at A1 Garage Door Service is we offer paid time off. We think it's very important that every technician gets a chance to take a break from work to enjoy themselves and their family, so you can come back energized. Based on the fact that we're growing so fast, we are always looking to promote our technicians to either lead technicians or market managers. You're not going to find any better training in the industry than what we have to offer. The first thing we do is fly you out to our corporate office in Tempe, Arizona. We pay you to come out, and the best thing is we throw you in the A1 housing apartments. Let me show you what those look like. We're really proud of those. During the training, we're going to introduce you to our entire team. You'll get to meet all of the dispatchers, the CCRs, the door department, and all of the other management team here at the A1 headquarters. We do things different and better when it comes to booking appointments. The call center is separated from dispatchers. Your dispatcher is dedicated to giving you the best opportunity with the best drive time in the industry. Your personal dispatcher is your liaison between you and the customer, always trying to give you the time you need to maximize each opportunity and keeping you moving throughout your day. We have management you can call at any given time. It starts with your market manager, and then the lead sales manager, and then you have 5 other resources, including myself, to reach out to. So what are you waiting for? Obviously, we care about our employees. Just go to workfora1.com. That's workfora1.com and apply today. We can't wait to meet you.
Now, Tommy, that's a story. What you just told is a story. That wasn't a resume, because as I listened to that and I picked that particular video, you got all kinds of videos on your YouTube channel, but as I looked through it, it's like, this is a story. How long did it take you to put together the script for that story you just told?
You know, it's weird that I don't have to think about it. It literally, I did it. I just write, and I woke up at 12:30 last night and I started whiteboarding. It's great. It doesn't take long, because, you know, I ask the people all the time, what makes you want to work here? And they give me this stuff. And some of them say it's just, you're the only spot that's really got the opportunity for career improvement and to move up the ladder. And some people say, you know, you're the only one that pays insurance or any of this. You know, we try to give people everything we can, because, you know, the big thing I pride myself on, Jerry, is in this office, COVID happened about a year ago. And I had several employees walk into my office, and they said, what are we going to do? And I told them every single day I wrote an email out and communicated. And I had so many people come in here and say, I want you to cut my pay. I want to donate my sick days to anybody that needs it. I want you to literally cut my performance pay in half until we get out of this thing, because we want to see this company succeed. And that was, it's not what we do in the good times. It's what we do in the bad times. And to know that these employees, and I call them my internal customers, to know that these amazing people came in and they were willing to do that didn't come down to that. At first it looked like the home service industry was going to take a nosedive. And, fortunately things worked out for a lot of us. But the fact is, it really made me wake up and smell the fact that we have built a culture here of people that are willing to do whatever it takes to keep this company moving forward. And we understand the greater good. When we have to let somebody go, which I say, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work for one of my competitors, it's for the greater good of the company.
Yeah, kind of like Larry Wingate used to advise one of my coaches. He used to say, when it's time to fire someone, I'm giving them their freedom. I'm giving them their freedom to go find something to make them happy, because they're not happy here. So it becomes that time to grant them that freedom. So how'd you come up with these great ideas about building your own housing for your employees? How did that come about for in training? Instead of putting them in the hotels, you bought an apartment complex, I believe, correct?
Yep. I've got 19 units, and I just bought 5 more 3-bedrooms. So that's 15 more technicians per month I could train. So 19 times 2, 38, 53. So got about 53 spots now for techs. And what happened was, it's just one day I was whiteboarding, because that's what I do. And I wrote $1 billion just for shits and giggles. And then I said, $1 billion. Let's say I could get guys to 500,000 pretty easy. 500,000 divided by $1 billion, that's 2,000 techs. So 2,000 techs. Okay. Over 5 years, how many do I need to get? Let's just say I could get 40 a month. 40 times 12 is 480. I know I'm going to lose some, so that gives me a buffer. So I know that I'm going to have to scale up to that. But what needs to happen, not this year, not this quarter, not this month, not this week, but what do I need to start thinking about today? First of all, a hotel is $100 a night at the very minimum. If I buy the apartment, so I did the math of what it would be if I bought the apartments. I had a vision. I had a dream that became a vision. And then the vision went all the way back on the whiteboard. I started on the right side and moved left. It came back to what needs to happen today and this week. And so I started looking for apartments, and I started figuring out when I used to train people from out of state, it was hotels. And you can imagine if I got 50 guys at $100 a night, it's crazy. And now we've got our own cleaning lady for the company. I mean, she's here right now. And she's got KPIs and a bonus program too, but it's just
Wait a minute. You got a bonus program for your cleaning crew.
So we've got literally sign-offs for everything, and people that do inspections. So as long as she gets everything and the inspection all passed, she gets a bonus. So it's one of those things where there's sign-off sheets in every apartment too for her. If it comes in, does anything not work? You test everything when you walk in that apartment. I want to know the hot water heater. I want to know every single thing. The thermostat turns on. Try the microwave. Try everything. And I want you to check everything for dirt, even up to the fan blades. And then we keep inventory on the dishes. We keep inventory. So every time she's got to count out, and she gets a sign-off sheet, and Bree walks through and checks every single one of those when they leave. And guess what? A lot of guys are getting $82 charges, $105 charges. Some people, one guy had a $250 charge. He left the place a freaking pigsty, and he got written up for that. But ultimately, it's ultimate accountability through processes.
Yeah. So what keys you in that a person is being interviewed is going to make a rock star performer? What's the things that you look for? How do you gauge that in your people?
Well, first of all, success leaves clues. I can check their social media. I can see if they've got a LinkedIn. There's a lot of things I look for, though. I look for how competitive are they. See, when I played a lot of sports, I practiced 5 more times than I got to play the game. So they've got to understand in competition, you're gonna do a lot of we do a lot of role playing here, but you're gonna do a lot of practice. Practice makes perfect. I'm gonna train. What I do is I recruit, I orient, I train, and then I retain. And there's a lot of training that goes after that. But we've got a lot of stuff. We've got a ride along form that has on there a ton of things. And the ride along form, I check how much are they on social media? Did they ask great questions? Did they smoke? Were they on time? What'd you feel about them overall? Would you rate? And I've got different things that we rate about them. And then I say something like this, Jerry. Hey, listen, I have my car seat in the car. My girl's coming to pick it up. But don't lie to people, but come up with something that you're not going to take your car. And I was wondering if I could take you out to lunch, but you're driving. I'm going to check out their vehicle and see how they treat their sanctuary, which is their home and their vehicle. And this, my trucks, that's their office. And then the biggest thing I like to do is try to get one of my market managers to go to dinner with them and their significant other so we can learn about how they treat each other when they're out. Because if it's completely disrespect and animosity, then they're probably not going to be great if they're going home to that. It doesn't mean they can't be 100% amazing person, but you're really fighting if you just hate going home at night. So there's a lot of things I do to cheat. I do the PI test, personality profiling. It's a predictive index. I do this thing called Spark Hire, where I ask the questions and they record themselves, and we can see, hey, how good is the person? I don't need to look at the interview for more than 2 minutes to know, really 20 seconds. I can almost watch them walk up to the building and see if they're not going to be a fit. So I kind of stack the deck. We go through thousands of applicants a week. And when these guys are here, I say, welcome, guys. You're about to listen to the most important 2-hour meeting you're ever going to be in if you end up keeping your career here at A1 Garage Doors. And I go through and I give them every single tip and these guys today, they've got our A1 books here. They're taking notes like crazy. We've got everything we have. We've got it all over the place. But today, it was awesome because they were just questions left, right, and center. So I'm not going to say they all asked. I wish they did. I think part of the problem is we make it look easy, and then they go, wow. And then but the hard part that's for them to understand is don't make this system your own. Don't make it your own. It's a Tom Hopkins approach. I don't want you to make it your own. I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say the exact questions. This is a beautiful home. I love your home. How long have you lived here anyway? And then I say, where? Then I look at 5 things before I walk up to the house. I look at, is there any cracks or dents in the garage door? Do they have a keypad? How does the trim look? How does the bottom rubber look? And is the garage door oxidized? I got 4 questions I ask every time. Everything's a process. And if you could build your business into a process that's repeatable and you could create accountability and you got key performance indicators to guide you, you're going to win the day. That's how simple it is.
Got you covered. So one of the things that you've also shared with me is that CSRs do not necessarily have to be in your office. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're all virtual now.
All of them are virtual. So they could be anywhere in the United States, and that's because of the software you're presently using, right?
So we use ServiceTitan, and then on top of ServiceTitan is our VoIP service called DialPad. They talk to one another.
Yeah, and you were also telling me you're trying some new software out. Last time I'd heard, are you trying some new things out?
Oh boy, 2 softwares. It's going to be. I'm telling you what, Jerry. I feel like I'm a cheater because I'm using so much technology to win the day. I'm using HubSpot and I'm using this thing called Schedule Engines, and I'm turning each and every employee into a marketer. I told these guys, I'm like, you're going to be better at eye contact, body language. You're going to be better with your tonality. We're going to turn you guys into mass marketers where you're going to be making an extra $500 or $800 a week. I'm going to teach you guys how to post on Facebook. They all got their own link. And then the customer just books it. It goes right into our capacity on our dispatch board. So I'm going to teach you guys how to rock the house on Nextdoor around your house and tell everybody you're the garage door guy. I'm going to show you how to create a quick video and share your link. I'm going to tell you how to go to church, get a QR code on the pamphlets of your church and say, we're going to give 10% back to the church. And you're going to make money on every one of those. I'm teaching these guys everything from soup to nuts. And then it's an affiliate tracking software too. So every painter, pest control company, roofing company, solar company, epoxy company could say, pest control because the bottom rubber, they're all going to go through their schedule engine portal and they're going to I'm hooking it up to a bank account that monitors it in ServiceTitan, that it releases the money when the job is fulfilled. So no more accounting to say, I didn't get paid my affiliate, whatever. I'm like, look, I'm paying them a marketing fee is what I'm paying them. I'm going to pay it to Google, but why not pay it to my employees and these great affiliate partners out there? And then HubSpot is, dude, HubSpot is like, it's a marketing just machine, and I'm a marketer at heart. So I love the software on top. Service Titan's amazing. I can't say anything bad. Service Titan's what runs the company, but we're redesigning our website, and you could take a phrase out of the top and put in a different phrase, and you could A/B test them through HubSpot. We're building a buyer's guide. So many awesome things. And you might say, what's a buyer's guide important? Well, what if I sent you a buyer's guide, Jerry, that lived on my website? And I said, Jerry, can you do me a favor? You're obviously going to be looking at making a beautiful, amazing investment on your home. In fact, it'll give you 102% return on investment. But one of the things we found is when we come out to do a new estimate, we do a lot of training and educating. And if you would take a few minutes to look at our buyer's guide, it'll tell you all about insulation, what happens if your house is facing west, how to get a nice tight seal to keep the elements and the nasty critters out. There's a lot of great information in there, and it'll allow you to really understand what you're getting yourself into as far as U factor, R value. There's a lot of stuff it's going to educate you on. Can I get a commitment from you that you'll at least take a peek at this for a few minutes before we get out there? And we always want that commitment. And then we send them the buyer's guide via text message. And we know, because we generated that custom message, the link tells us exactly the IP address and who the customer is. And we know every single page they visited. So do you think I might want to send one of my top guys with the most information if someone goes to the most expensive wood doors and spends an hour looking at wood doors? Do you think that that's an advantage that I might have over any competitor? I love this stuff.
So you're kind of like using software and using data to read your customer's mind. Would that be a good indication?
You know, we do this thing called regression testing. I know my perfect customer. I know if it's a male or female. I know the credit score. I know their dual income. I know how much equity they have in their home. And I was in a podcast yesterday, Jerry, and they said, what's the most important one? And I said, well, I can tell you this. It's probably the number of garage doors. Richer, more affluent customers have multiple garage doors. But I said, what's more important than all of the regression testing in the world is you take my best tech and put them anywhere in the world, especially in North America. He's going to kick butt. You take my worst guy, put him in a $20 million house, it might not go so well. So I said, ultimately, so many of these huge $500 million companies are trying to figure out the data game. And I'm like, go back to the drawing board. It's the training game, not the data game. Data is great, and I collect a lot of data, and we use it to our advantage. But the data allows me to score the customer. And then I score my technicians, and I try to match up the top scores together. And people say, man, that's really interesting. That's all kind of salesy. And I'm like, look, every day I sell. I mean, the church sells. The church asks you for 10% to tithe. They're selling you to pay. And when I met my girlfriend, I was selling. When I meet new people, How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of my favorite books, it says, listen more than you talk. And this teaches you how to sell. You're selling people. And I don't have any problem with the word sales. So we stack the deck in our favor. And I think the smartest companies in the world do the same thing, like Amazon and Facebook. And I could go on and on.
Yeah, but you just hit a key point, Tommy. You are taking the data, but you're also looking at how well I train my people. So far in our conversation today, you've talked about being able to listen, being able to communicate effectively, get all that across. How do you get your people to stay and continue in the training after they've come through that initial training in Phoenix they come to, which is near where Tempe's near? So how do you keep them into ongoing training to get better?
So we got a big scorecard now, and it's going to be automated within about 90 days. Completely automated, but there's still some Excel things that happen. But everything from driving score, technician error report, there's a sales factor to it. There's a little bit that goes into how you take your inventory. We could tell the average rating on Yelp and Google. It gives a score of their average rating. So all these things come into place. And what I could do is I could tell you exactly where we need to focus on time. And each month we have a one-on-one with every single technician. And their goal is to get them to, I've got it all ordered. What's the biggest thing for me? Conversion rate. I want every single job I go to turn into a conversion, to be an A1 customer for life. But we've got a priority list, and we know what we got to work on. So they're always, I just flew out all my lead techs back to Phoenix. We all hung out. We spent a week together and had a blast. And it's always training. It's training. We have a lot of meetings. We have a meeting at 7:30 for all my field supervisor and everybody on the program. If they fall below a certain score, they're back on the program where they've got to call field supervisors on every single call, a prep call and a call right after you talk to the customer. I mean, I'm trying to build a system to where it's fail proof, and it's a consistency and accountability is what creates this machine we're building. And, it's getting easier the more I understand. Today, we had a call with all my area managers, and the regional manager who's coming in tonight, he said, guys, you got to really make sure you're getting us the reports of the ride-alongs each night. I'm not getting them every night. And I said, no problem. Kind of reminds me of the TBS reports. But I said, look, we've got a whole system in place that's coming that I created a role for somebody that their whole job is to grab that data every single night and create accountability. And we're building a little manual around this process. And I said, Mike, no need to worry. Yes, guys, please get those in on time. But I said, where's the process? Show me where they signed off on they know what they're doing. Show me where they repeated back to and showed that they knew what they were doing when it comes to this and who's holding them accountable. Because ultimately that falls back on me to realize it. I said, it costs a lot of money to do what we're doing, but when you got $1 million producers and you can build a team of them, the money comes second. People say, well, how about, do you care about getting customers? And I say, no, because each one of my guys is going to get 20 customers a week. I could pay Google for my customers. I could pay Facebook. I could pay Yelp. I could pay, Angie's List. I could pay when you get the right employees. Customers are easy. People always say, how do you get all the customers? My big thing is, how do you get the best of the best employees? It's really ass backwards what people think. I need more jobs. Cut your jobs in half. This guy came in here. He said, my guys run 8 jobs a day. He said, they're the best. Rosner guys said, oh, my guys run 3. I said, my average ticket's way higher than yours. He said, you know what, Tom, I don't have enough business. I've run with my tail cut off. I said, let me ask you something. I said, what's your average ticket? He said, $300. I said, if you were really wanted to live on the edge and spend 10% in marketing, you could only pay $30. And I don't think he's not adding in the zero. So it's probably more like $200. Pay $20 for a customer. I could pay 80 to $100, no problem, without thinking about it. So I focus on the right employees. Always be recruiting is my little thing I came up with. Instead of always be closing, I said always be recruiting.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy Biswell's asking a question on the chat right there. Who was the last person that sold you something, Tommy? And did you learn something from that person?
I got to tell you guys, I learn every single day. The one thing was this morning, one of my managers got on the call and he said he was at the dealership getting his oil changed, and the guy came up to him and saw him looking at another vehicle, and he made this great story about it. And there's very little time I take that I don't learn something from sales. I was at a great restaurant a week ago, and I got to tell you, they had it down to the T. This is me all the time. They had it down to the T. I was so impressed. The best steakhouse I got to tell you, it was just amazing. And I said, I need to talk to the manager. I said, you're not in trouble to the server. I talked to the manager. I said, I want you to come in and talk to my people. I said, I'll hire you. What's your hourly rate? He said, look, just come out and take care of my garage door and look at it for me. I said, listen, what you guys do here, the level of excellence when I come in and I see what you guys do, it's just you build raving fans. And I need you to come talk to my people about customer service. So everything's an opportunity. They sold me, I think, a couple martinis and whatever else. So I'm sold all the time. I love to be sold.
Okay. So here would be, let's say you're talking and you're doing a presentation in a group of people, kind of like we're doing right now. And somebody told you, listen, I know I need to train my people, but we're just too busy. We got to get these jobs done. We can't take the time to train our people. What would be your answer to that person?
I mean, that's the problem out there to most companies. And I would say, look, if you slow down, get a few less jobs, it's so hard to turn off the spigot and say, because we don't have enough money. We just don't have enough money to stop. So I usually tell people they weren't in the right position financially to go into business. So they got to put sweat equity in. And it's really hard because you leverage yourself now. So somehow you got to unleverage some of the debt, slow down a little bit, and build curriculum. Start with manuals. And in those manuals have standard operating procedures and checklists. And there's one thing that I love on here. It's the top one. Always be improving. Today, we had a big meeting with every Wednesday, all the main managers. There were 30 people on. I said, guys, here's the deal for me. I said, I'm figuring out how to get 15 hours back. I'm going through the schedule. I've got a lot of books I'm reading on more time management. I'm figuring things out to get 15 hours back. I said, tell me there's a form you're working on that you could take one thing out of or get more innovative with. I said, tell me one less step you could take. Let's install a slide upstairs because that way we could save. If every person walks up and down the stairs 20 times a day, we might be able to add 10 hours of productivity back. That's how my brain thinks. So we talked a lot about you can't get it perfect, but if you're always thinking about what I could do to improve my processes and get the expected outcome, maybe a checklist, maybe a manual, maybe but there's got to be accountability. And if you can't live and breathe the same thing that you're preaching, you're never going to do it. And most people say, why can't they just do what I ask? Why can't they be like me? Because they'd be your boss. You were the one that chose to get in business. They're never going to live up to your expectations. You haven't even given them. I learned how to play sports. You know how? Because my middle school, the coach and the gym teacher, he gave us charts every day and said, study these. For the first 15 minutes, we knew what a left tackle was and a left guard was and a quarterback versus the kicker. And we learned how to play the game. If you're not given a manual on how you expect your employees to win, how they're going to ever win. And that's what I always say. And then practice. High school's perfect because you practice, then you play. Maybe you're doing 2 days, 2 practices. And they tell you how to play this drill. That's why I love hiring people that have a competitive atmosphere.
Yeah. Jeremy's asking, what did you say your per customer average was for your company?
Today it's 1,051.
Okay, 1,051 today. And then he says, and Jeremy's a real good friend of mine, Brandy, that works with us. That's her husband. So he says he loves hearing stuff from other industries. So Frank Matola, that's the website company that came visit you about a month ago. Frank's asking, what's the most unrelated industry or occupation you've ever hired someone out of?
Oh man, you name it. I could claim it. I've hired people that works. A lot of restaurant people have come recently, but my top guy was a tow truck driver. The top guy in the company in sales was a tow truck driver.
He was a tow truck driver. Now, how did a tow truck driver, because tow truck drivers don't do add-on sales, how do you think was he in the wrong occupation before?
Yeah, this guy is from Iraq, and people always ask me, how could you emulate this guy? I said, you can't. I said, it's impossible because you can't live where he's lived. There was a time where he lived in a bunker for months and heard missiles flying over. He doesn't care to ask an American for a couple $1,000s when they just made 22% on their home last year. So I say, we can't teach that. We can't teach his fierce look. When he makes eye contact, I mean, he's got you. I said, but you're not scared of him, but he's a good guy. But the one thing we could teach is let's role play. Let's watch ourselves. Let's videotape it and see if we made good eye contact. Let's see if we had the right tonality. Let's hear what happens when objections come out and how you handle them. Or do you look away, or what are your mannerisms? So, yeah, we get bartenders. I love people in the service industry. I just hired a corporate trainer, and this gal is amazing.
Yeah, did the corporate trainer you hired, I know last time we talked, you were getting ready to hire her the next day, I believe.
She came on like a wrecking ball. Like she went through all the training, but she's just doing her thing, man. I took her out to dinner last night with another one of my lead trainers, and I said, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. I said, we're going to set up a 90-day program. I want to know every single day their curriculum. I want to know the expectations. I want to see all the forms by the end of the month. I said, right now our training's amazing. We're putting out amazing guys. I said, but I want this thing to be a school. I want to know what's happening every minute of every day. And I said, your goal, Elisa, this week is to get us in. I want to go check out one of the top HVAC schools in Arizona. And I said, get us a walkthrough there. Let's go learn. My big philosophy is we don't need to write the book. Let's just read a couple. Let's go learn from them what they've learned and what they found to be more successful. And I'll tell you what, there's more money that is going to be made and is being made in my program than you could ever imagine, because people are like, man, if I could only get good employees, but I have to give up a lot. I mean, just to not 1099, I'm paying taxes and insurance and all kinds of other stuff that I wouldn't normally have to pay, that the guys that kind of cheat the taxes do. I feel like health insurance was an extra $1 million a year. Every single time we just extended their PTO. That was a $48,000 decision. That's crazy how much, but you know what? If it gives anybody one more reason to stay and be on the team, and it's a gift that keeps giving for me.
Right. You have developed, or you were developing when we talked before, your own LMS, learning management system. How's that going for you?
So we built a complete LMS out, and then we decided Service Titan had worked a deal out with Absorb. So we're in the middle of migrating, and it's an accountability software that you could add any courses in any curriculum you want. And trust me, technology is changing every day. Okay. The different modules, different things. Every single week we're on an hour call to find out the new features and benefits that they offer. So I got to tell you, the LMS, she's working on it. We decided to hire a full-time person for the LMS too. So we're bringing on someone to just handle. We're hiring right now. I'm hiring another content manager and a videographer. So we're going to have 2 full-time videographers. You might say, geez, how can you afford that? Well, how can you afford not to have it? Every video, I'm going to be producing so many videos. I'm really kind of scared of how many jobs we're going to have. I'm like, my mind goes back to need more technicians. And 60 is not enough a month, to be honest with you. But
are you scared you are going to overmarket your capacity? In other words, your marketing is so stout that you don't have the capacity to fit the bill?
You know, it's interesting because yesterday I did a little Facebook message on my bigger group and the home service expert. And I said, guys, you might think you're doing great. You got more jobs than you could handle. But the fact is that if you don't have a machine to put out more guys and a really calculated, awesome machine, you're not serving the customer. You're not charging enough money either, because you need to charge more so you could have the machine that I have. I said, I don't take advantage of my customers. In fact, I could be out there the same day, usually within an hour, on a Friday night or on Christmas night or on Sunday evening, whatever it might be. And the customer is buying the experience. You know, there's an old saying that they're not going to remember what they bought 10 years from now, but they're going to remember the way you made them feel. And the people that we choose and the processes we put them through are not cheap, but the experience is amazing. And we made them feel great. And it's not, I can't tell you that we have a guy that's dedicated. His name is Bruce. We call him Bruce Fire because we get Bruce fires that he's got to deal with. Manufacturing's messed up right now. We got supply chain issues. So to pretend like we're just flawless, no, but it's the system that dictates the output. You know, there's been times that we've all been to Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever you have. Maybe it didn't come out as the best as the last time, but typically you know what you're getting. I don't love McDonald's, but in China, I loved McDonald's because I was eating all this bony chicken crap. So I was like, show me the McDonald's. And I knew what a Big Mac was going to taste like. And I love that. And what I love about what we have now is I know the Kansas City guys are going to drive up in the same truck with the same tool bag, with the same CRM as they do in Michigan, as they do in Oklahoma, as they do in Arizona. So it's a good feeling to have that.
Well, so you'll know Brandy and Jeremy that are on here, and Brandy works with us, our clients and all that. They actually engaged you in Kansas City because of the service you provided, because of the testimonials, the reviews, and everything else. So Brandy's got a question for you, Tommy. How many hours of continuing education do your employees receive a month? When do they do it, and how do they get it?
So every morning they're on 30 minutes worth of calls, 2 different calls. Every Thursday morning they're on an hour. And then what we do is based on our KPIs, we do a lot of different ride-alongs. There's no recipe that fits everybody. So you kind of got to look at your KPIs and figure out what you're trying to do. But I pay my people very, very good money to do a ride-along. So I told these guys today, I said, what if I get you 3 ride-alongs a quarter and I give you an extra $40,000 a year? Would that make sense? And I'll pay you to do the ride-alongs. But you got to know, what is my goal in the ride-along? I'm going to teach you how to do bottom rubber, the bottom cylinder garage. I'm going to have you get way faster. We're going to show you how to sell it on every job. Because there's no home that wants nasty critters after 10 years with that stale old bottom rubber. So we know exactly what we're going to train on these ride-alongs. So I would tell you that the average guy is probably getting, believe it or not, 15 to 20 hours a month. But it's, it's not a perfect science yet. I sound great. And I know everybody's like, how does, it's perfectly. I've got problems. It's not easy by no means. But what I do is I go back to the drawing board and figure out what's broken in the process. I got 20 things out here and they all say there can only be 3 problems with the process. Number 1, there's no process. Number 2, the process isn't being followed. Or number 3, it's the wrong process, right?
I'll tell you what, man, we think too much alike because that's what I've given everybody for years. Whenever there's a mistake, whenever there's a problem, there's 3 answers. No process, no system. Number 2, the system's is wrong. Or number 3, somebody didn't follow it. But here's the problem, Tommy. If they didn't follow the process, is it because they didn't understand it? Was it because they weren't trained? Was it because we didn't word it in a way? So that's a big key right there. You got to figure it out. It's kind of like getting a bad review. A bad review can tell you a whole lot about what you got to work on there. So, Jeremy's up there again. He's saying, how long did you say the training was again? Very impressive on that process at A1. So I presume he's talking about that initial training. Did you say it was a month?
So you start out as an apprentice in your own market for a month. Our goal is for you to be a ninja when you come here to Phoenix, but it's not quite there yet. So now we're building all these ride-along forms to make sure they've done everything a certain amount of times before they're allowed to come to Arizona. And we make sure you don't ride with anybody that doesn't love the company. You better be riding with someone that's going to teach you the A1 way, that loves the company. Because I'll tell you what, we don't just fire a guy because to fire him. And there's certain people that have their ups and downs. They go through relationships, and people are the hardest thing to figure out. But they come here for a month. They're in their market for a month, and then they're on a 3 months apprentice program. But they're out there making money, and they're just doing a lot more ride-alongs during that 3 months. So it's 2 hardcore months, and then 3 more of the lot more ride-along months.
Yeah. Well, there's your testimonial right there from Brandy, and right behind that. There's Cheryl coming up next. If you remember Cheryl, that's my wife you met when you were on the group call, and she's sharing great information there. So I got to ask this. One of the things that Tommy, that you do, this is a book you wrote. It is entitled Home Service Millionaire. So I got 2 questions for you on this. Number 1, what made you write this book, Tommy? Why did you put it? Because as I look, you basically have given people the system for success. So why'd you do this?
I had a lot of stuff that I felt like I wanted to get out there, and I figured I made a lot of mistakes. There's no point in anybody making the same mistakes. And I just decided that, there were so many issues I've had and so many people that helped me out along the way that I said, I want to pay it forward. But instead of writing my own book, I decided to go out and get 12 co-authors and people that I know are the best of the best. Alan Rohr knows financials. You've got Al Levy with his manuals. You've got Ara, the CEO of Service Titan, that talks about the CRMs. You got Dave, Dave brain farting right now, but he talks all about, he's the COO at Home Advisor, Dave Smith. It goes on and on. I've got a guy that sold 15,000 service agreements in the book. I took the best of the best and I put them all into one book. And fortunately, Darius Levers, he wrote financing. He's the king of financing. 60% of his company sells finance. So I just said, I kind of want to cheat, and I kind of want to get a hold of these people, and I kind of want to just let them tell their story in a few pages. So in a way, looking back, it might have been a selfish reason because I got to hang out with these people for a couple of days and really learn about their business. And they really helped me out. And when I learned, I've listened to the book once a year for the last couple of years. It came out 2 years ago, going on 3 years. There's always something else I get out of it because of the 12 co-authors that have their own little spin on it. So
Got you covered. So that's my first question. Next question is, you give this book away if people simply pay for the shipping and handling. Am I correct?
Yeah. They go to homeservicemillionaire.com/free. And that's one spot you could get it. We've got a couple links. But, people think you make money on a book. You don't make money on a book. I've done some speaking events, but realistically, if people want to learn, it's a business card now. It's a good accomplishment I have under my belt that I'm proud of. But I got to tell you, it's not a trap. It's not like you're going to get, some people say it sounds salesy. I don't work for Service Titan, because I talk a lot about Service Titan because it's the way we run our business. It's a CRM, but there's a million good CRMs out there. I just use Service Titan. So, yeah.
Yep, that's what I mean. So, and I remember, a couple years ago, I had clients that were interested in Service Titan from the chimney business. So Service Titan flew me out to LA because I wanted to make sure this wasn't a couple guys in the garage. Realistically, if I'm going to recommend it. So I flew out to the LA, went to the office and visited and all that. And knowing it when me and you got together, I knew they were also working in the garage door industry. And then you told me about your experiences and how you helped them tailor the Service Titan software into what you needed, very similar to what some of my clients and some of them are on here, like Lee Rolfe, Josh Kelly, some of these people. In fact, Brandy and Jeremy, they're implementing Service Titan right now this month into their business and help make it a class act. I mean, you've done these things coming out. You come out of the box tremendously, my friend.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Jerry. I got to tell you, it really is. There's a piece of this, and I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. That when somebody emails me or text messages me or Facebooks me, and they say, "I'm a better father. I'm spending time. I never got to be a high school coach, and now I'm coaching my daughter, and I'm actually making money, and I got some of my time back." There's something that just gives me goosebumps about helping others. And what I found, Jerry, is the more I give, the more I get back. People are willing to go out of their way when I need help. And it's not financial help, but just answer a phone call or just have an idea or just listen and let me vent or whatever it is. The more I give, the more I get back. And it's a good feeling.
Well, that's the thing I noticed, Tommy. Like I said, and I often kidded about this when the first time you had a phone call, I told people next day, man, this guy is so full of energy. We had an hour conversation and he talked for 55 minutes and I only got about 5 minutes there because you were telling, it was just gushing out of you, brother. And we had never met each other before. That was like an initial, let's get to know each other type phone call. And from there, you put me on your podcast and we've just developed a great relationship. I mean, I hooked you up with a guy named Ken Walls and, you blew him away and a lot of other people. But one of the things I've learned from you is you mix with knowledgeable people. And you mix with people that have been there and you learn from these people. So again, you're giving this information out so willingly. I mean, tomorrow on your podcast, I think I seen you're doing something with the Success Academy tomorrow.
Yeah. So I got to know them and he's just a really smart guy. I've got, there's just, I learned, and I got to tell you, it's crazy because these books, they're everywhere. I mean, I got this guy working with me, the Door-to-Door Millionaire. This is his second book. This just showed up today. Let me just show you guys what I got in the mail today. And I got your books, but I just love this. So this one is The Power of Discipline, the Bathos Letters, the 14 Principles to Grow Like Amazon, Mastering Private Equity. Private Equity and Action, Free to Focus, The CEO's Secret Weapon, The Leadership Challenge, Basic Economics, Chief of Staff, and the Leadership Challenge Workbook. So I've got my homework cut out here for a while, but this is not including Audible. So I've surrounded myself with amazing people, and realistically, no one understands this, but I might not have a personal relationship with all these people, but in a way I do have a relationship with these authors because I'm getting to know them and their personal stories. Some of them took their whole lifetime and put it into a book. The least I can do is learn about it. And I have all these aha moments. And that's why I want to, believe it or not, I want to free up more of my time so I could read more. And I read a lot, and I listen to it really fast on Audible, and I've got a book club, but I want more. And I'm kind of like Short Circuit, where he's like, must read Johnny 5. But I love this stuff. So
yeah. So I got a question for you. I sent you one of my stuffed groundhogs, Chucky. Where you got Chucky? You got Chucky around?
there he is.
So what did you think when you opened up that box and there was a stuffed groundhog in there?
This is great. It's killer, man. I thought it's awesome. I left the tag on here. This is super cool, though. Yeah, my office is pretty eclectic.
Yeah, I sent you that. I think I put a note in there that said, "Don't worry, he don't bite," and you probably got a little worried. But I also sent you a note for where Jeffrey Gittimer, done a video with Chucky there promoting our brand and what we do and all that. So, Tommy, is there anything else you would share with the people? You are just so full of energy, and folks. Realistically, Tommy, how often do you do your podcast? Because you've got some great guests and some great information goes out. How often do you do the Home Service Expert?
So the Home Service Expert is once a week, and sometimes we do it live. Yesterday I did one. It's not live yet. It's in the queue. It's on that thing called Schedule Engine. And, the guy's name is Austin, and he goes, Tommy, our business, since we've talked, and I got to introduce you, has grown 400%. And I don't take credit for that, but, we got him basically in the service center, got him with a lot of customers, and just amazing people come on. And I got to tell you, the notes I take and the little aha moments, or when you're in a podcast, sometimes you remember something and it's like, oh my gosh. And this is why I do it. And believe it or not, the podcast is really, it's kind of like my own therapy. It's literally, it's more than reading a book, because I get to ask my own questions and I get to hang out with guys like you. So, there's one thing I could tell everybody. They say, what's the one thing? Well, that's a great book. The one thing is focus.
Yes.
100% of your energy. But more importantly, this is the most important thing, is get yourself out of your comfort zone, get away from your family for a week and go visit a company that you want to become like, and study, bring notes, plan this trip, and golf yourself in the books you need to be, that you need to read, and spend 1 week. Call it your personal retreat, and just breathe the same air of the thriving companies. Watch the work that's going on and the stuff that's being done and the culture that's been created. And you gotta disconnect when you do this. And I gotta tell you, the more I do it, the faster I grow, because I'm watching it in action. I went to Ken Goodrich's Gettle, and you just breathe the air and you watch the people and the smiles and this. Can I help you? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yes, this is cool. I love this.
What you're looking on there. So, we've had this put on twice, and I know how you feel about this. You got top billing, but Tom and Jerry, how you feel about that, man? We go out as Tom and Jerry.
You know what? There's a movie that just came out. I think I was looking at the preview. It was like They Take New York or something. And that movie there's a brand new Tom and Jerry movie. There's only 5 movies at the theater. That's one of them.
Well, let's hope Tom and Jerry don't upset the world like everything else is these days. That's all we know. Pepe Le Pew, he's in problems or whatever. I don't think Tom and Jerry in trouble.
Jerry, what my thought process is on this. I talked to my CPA yesterday, and I said, Aaron, I'm a little bit worried, because we're living in a world now that I'm in growth mode. And he said, Tommy, I can't guarantee you, but the tax laws are changing. And if you end up, just take each day by day, because there might be a time where you're de-incentivized really hard to grow. And there might be a time where you can't afford, you're just taxed in a way that you can't keep providing for everybody. And I think I'm a survival of the fittest type person. It's sink or swim, but ultimately there's a big machine that we built, and the more you give back to me, I promise, the more I put into my company, and I share it with my employees. And I know not everybody does that, but it's a little concerning, because I take a lot of chances. We've got a lot of great insurance, but I can be sued in a lot of different ways. I've got a lot of leases out there, in every state, multiple leases in a lot of the states, dozens and dozens of leases, because I've got different headquarters in even the same city, like huge cities like Detroit. And I got to tell you, if you de-incentivize people and make it harder for them to work, they don't grow anymore, and it causes jobs to fall off. And then they want to give employees that fall off of jobs and hold them up to de-incentivize them to come back. And I have a big heart and I want to give. I think I'll become a better philanthropist than the government could ever spend our money. So I don't know. It's a little worrisome because I don't mind growing, but there's no point in growing and taking a chance if you start losing money. And we're by no means in that boat yet, but I didn't want to get started on that rant, but
I understand. Well, Tommy, I think my background is appropriate when you look at the fire around you right now, because, man, you are a guy on fire. Like I said, more I heard about you when I got to know you, and you did a group call with my coaching clients a couple months ago. We're hoping that tomorrow turns out better than the last time we got together, because that, it wasn't the best day of my life the next day, but the information that you pass on, brother, and you do it so willingly and helpful to people, you're an inspiration, Tommy. So, keep on what you're doing. And if you want to get some great information, folks, follow Tommy Mello. He's online all the time. He's doing lives. He'll just be in his car sometime, and I'll see Tommy Mello is live and see him going down. He might be listening to radio or whatever. But Tommy, I appreciate you being here, giving your time as always, your help, your assistance, and most of all, your friendship, my friend. And I'm still looking forward to when I get to Phoenix or you get to Charlotte, since you got in the garage door. We owe each other dinner, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Jerry. I appreciate all the things. I appreciate, I haven't named, what's his name? What happened?
His name is Chucky. He's to remind you that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that's a definition of insanity. So all my clients get those. I got Chuckies all over the country.
Well, I love Chucky and I love the gifts, and I've got your wife's book too. So I'm going to go through everything, and I just appreciate the little care package and appreciate being on today. So I had a blast, and I was always, I think you're amazing.
Thank you, sir. And my name's Jerry Eisenhower. This show is CVC Tips and Tactics. We're glad you could join us. If we can help you here at the CVC Success Group, you see our website rolling across the screen right now. And with that, we're out of here, and we do appreciate you joining us. It's been an honor, it's been a privilege, and it's been a pleasure to be with you today, Tommy. Appreciate it.
See you guys. Thank you.